I'm Kane Mayfield. I'm a hip hop artist slash NFT artist. I'm originally from New York. My music career started in Baltimore, and I've lived kind of 1,000 places since then. So Florida, Mexico, Virginia, and now I'm moving to Georgia. So they're kind of the in the in the realm of Rakim, ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. That's I am now at the metaverse. So I'm at everywhere. And it's difficult. And I know to answer the question, right? But it's difficult to these days to narrow it down because everyone's everywhere and we're all almost omnipresent. So it's almost like it no longer matters where you're from anymore because I'm talking to 3 people on the other side of the planet before I talk to my neighbors, when I take my garbage out. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. Before that, I was in finance majority of my life. When I was a kid and I wanted to have money, the most fun way that I could figure out to do that is be a stockbroker. So I went and did that for a while. Then that business ceased to exist the way I knew it. And it looked like some of my friends were having fun in mortgages. So I went and did that for a while. Then that all got boring and I didn't want to do that anymore. And then someone was like, hey, why don't you be a rapper? So I was like, fuck it, let's go be rap. Let's make rap songs. So I did that and toured around and had fun traveling. And then someone told me about selling investment vacations or whatever. And did that for like 5-6 years, went to Mexico for 3 of them, had a great time, had a lot of fun, met my fiance who's in there using up all my hot water, and now this kind of fell upon me and I was like, okay, cool, I can do music and finance at the same time. Cool, let's do it. Having fun, selling vacations, came back mostly for my fiance. And while I'm back, I'm figuring out what it is that I want to do with myself. And a buddy of mine, Skrilla, essentially tells me about this NFT community. And I'm at that point, I'm cold, I'm ice cold. No one's checking for a Kane Mayfield record. And I can't imagine that there's something for me in this. But I kept walking into the further down the street with it. And the more I learned, the more I liked. And now I've been holding rooms on Clubhouse. I have a show on Discord that, once a week, every Friday, we come together and talk about NFTs, what's happening in the space, cryptocurrency in general, teach people about different parts of it, whether it's DeFi or something else, and just helping people learn. So that's the thing that I found with this. NFTs, it's the best way to describe it without using words like fungible is it's digital art, virtual art. It can be anything you want it to be, from songs, music, books. It's taking things, it's virtual assets. And you can turn anything into an asset, so you can turn anything into a virtual asset for the most part. As long as there's someone who wants it, there will always be a market for it. And it allows people who are on opposite sides of the planet to communicate ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, expressions, and most importantly, to do business with little to no middlemen and little to no barriers, which I think brings everybody together, which is a good thing. My audience would probably be best summed up as smart people who like dumb shit and dumb people who like smart shit. I mean, there's no, it's difficult to say who my audience is because I don't know who I am. I don't know what kind of music I make. I don't understand what genre I really fit into. Once upon a time, Spin Magazine said that I fit into the category of guys who think it's 1993. That was nice. I appreciated that. And it was me and a few other people who were in there, Camber, Sean Price, and Elzai. And I looked around and was like, well, this is lovely company for me. I don't much know how, rest in peace to P, I don't know how he felt about me being there, but I felt great to be included with those guys. I also do stuff like palindromes. Palindromes aren't something that you can hear unless your father's a computer or you're some sort of a metahuman. I put a whole rhyme with nothing but palindromes, whole palindrome lines. Like Snug and Raw was I saw War and Guns spells the same thing backwards. That's not going to be your traditional, oh, I like the hook rap audience. And I guess the music is nostalgic sounding and modern. So I make modern day nostalgia. A writer said that once. I thought it was fly. I'll go with that. Since I've been releasing music of NFTs, I'm bigger than I was before. It's wider, so it probably doesn't feel that way. It doesn't look that way to my longtime audience, but I had to explain it to a few of them. It's if you're talking metrics, yeah, my metrics are bigger than they've ever been. Not Facebook, not really. I mean, Instagram a little bit. My Twitter's never been as jumping it is right now. I went from 0 to a few thousand Clubhouse followers, which for the people that care about the metrics of social media, Clubhouse followers are weighted higher because of the blah, 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 blah. But as far as the engagement, which is all I ever cared about, my engagement's as high or higher than it's ever been. It's not the same because it's digital. It's not the same because it's in the metaverse. I don't have the same feeling of entering venues and figuring out who's who in the venue, and I miss that, and I don't have the same energy in a cipher outside the venue that I just did a show at, because even though I just did my show or I'm about to do my show, I know these three still think they nice and we're gonna fix that before this show starts. I don't have that, and I miss that, and I value that. That always meant more to me than the money anyway. Like in a stupid way, because I'm an idiot for that. I rap outside my own show. I'm a weirdo. But as far as did it help? Yeah, it helped. I was ice cold. I was ice cold. And I'm not like famous enough to be cold. I don't have, in the world that y'all come from, you hear the way I talk. I have a very good grasp on who and what I am. A failed struggle rapper. I know what I am. You can't afford to be chilly, cold. And I was a block of ice. To go from that to making show money without even leaving my house is a big deal. And what I explain to people is this space provides for what you give it. I give it a lot, and I think that it provides me more than I deserve. How I got started isn't how everyone else is going to get started. I got started because Skrilla called me, and essentially called me back in like maybe around this time last year. So around November, December. Hey man, I got this idea. Yeah, blew it off. Talk to me again in January. Yeah, blew it off. February. Okay, we'll do it. And then I still didn't do it till like March or April. And everyone isn't gonna have an OG in the space follow you around to make it make sense for you. And because of that, you'll let the story gets told differently. They'll say that it's very difficult. This space is very simple to get involved with. The paywall isn't money, it's attention. Anyone can simply enter the space and listen and learn and figure out everything they need to figure out in maybe a week. A week is long. I can break the space down for most people in 20 minutes, no matter what background they're coming from. Because I don't use words like fungible, and I meet them conversationally wherever they are. So getting started for me was, I think there first had to be an interest, and there was, which was there's money. And I made money. I won 0.025 ETH in a rap cipher. I don't know what it was. I know what it was now, but then I was like, what just happened? This is like Discord or some weird shit. And I was like, you pay me in computer money? And how much is that worth? And I was like, $1,600. But it wasn't. I counted wrong. It was like 300. And then the next week it was worth like four something. He shot up. And I said, yo, what the hell? This is crazy. So I wanted to know more about it. And then I started hanging around and listening. And because everyone doesn't explain it transparently, it takes finding your tribe. It took me about a month and a half of 19-hour days to know the lion's share of what most people accuse me of knowing. I'll say accuse that way. It took me about a month and a half, every single day, no days off, and I'm doing about 19 to 20 hours a day. And it wasn't like, oh, hit my 19th hour, time to go to bed. I went to sleep when my body physically put me down. What's important to you, whoever is listening to this, is what's going to lead you to where this becomes easy. But your why has to be written in cement. If your why isn't written in cement, this is all going to be ethereoids and Mega Man masks and take your sushi and wrap them in pancakes, and none of it's going to make any sense. When your why is firmly in place, everything will start falling into place around it because it'll be related to your why. I like rapping. Things that made this relatable to me were things that involved me making rap songs. You may like ice sculpting or making sandwiches, whatever the fuck you're into. And that will be what locks this together for you. But it has to be in terms and written in the language of your why. So it took me about a month to figure out the language of my why and to find people who spoke it. So that's the long, very drawn out answer to that question. There's only but so much exploitation one can do before people will find a different way, and water will always find its level. So I don't think this means the end of the music business, even though I know people like to say that. I don't think that record labels will learn how to share overnight. I think that this will exist kind of how Koch did, and those guys. I think they'll otherize it before they try to mass adopt it. And that's because they can't figure it out. But for people who don't care, they won't care and they'll be just fine. For artists who understand what it is they're actually doing and don't have delusion, there's very few places that look more appetizing than over here. Regulators. But I don't mean it in terms of like SROs or self-regulatory organizations like the SEC or the FINRA, none of them fucking, I don't mean regulators like that. Regulators like young guns, like people on horseback who and go get cattle rustlers and string them up in the town square. I think in the next 12 to 36 months, there's going to be a very large inflow of humans and some bots, a lot of bots, but some humans into this space. And without culture, there is no governance. Without this is the culture, there's no this isn't the culture. It should be left by the people who create this space to decide what is and what is not the culture. What is and what is not non-cipher. Certain things just shouldn't be, certain things should be frowned upon. And it's okay to frown upon them. Rug pulls are bad. Bad governance is bad. People shouldn't be, but they're making money. You can make money doing a lot of shit. You can make money child trafficking. You can make money doing wild shit out there. You don't need this to make money. And you don't need money to make sense. I just would like more, control over the space. Not me personally. I shouldn't have it. I'm not, I shouldn't be in charge, but other people should. Unimpeachable people should. Will probably not be most people's experience. And the reason for that is because everyone's going to see this differently. Also, the landscape changes. It just changes over time, over months, by next year, this will all look totally different. By next year, if you look at last year, this time, OpenSea wasn't OpenSea. OpenSea wasn't anything like it is right now. No one went to OpenSea. It was like a fucking swap meet graveyard. This time last year, then Bored Ape Yacht Club. And now we are in the reigning kingdom of the PFP projects, where OpenSea reigns supreme, and OpenSea is so liquid they can buy a small fucking country. Hickanunk was raging this time last year, and Screensaver. Both of them desolate now. So I would say, and this is just my advice to whoever is listening to this, when someone tells you about the success or the ease or the wonderfulness of a platform, remember, none of that matters in 25 minutes, and it's important to be platform agnostic, blockchain agnostic, and as diversified as you possibly can be. I'm not handcuffed to any one chain. I'm not handcuffed to any one platform. I mint in Calumet. I mint in Tezos. You know, I mint in ETH. I mint in Bitcoin now. I mint in Solana once I figure out if there's a reason for me to be over there. I'll mint in Avalanche once I get a handle on it. I'm everywhere. You got to be omnipresent. I've had interesting experiences with some of them just because some platforms are easier than others. Coming from Rarible and OpenSea, Hickanunk seemed it seemed challenging. In fact, I used to joke that platform had an accent. That, you know, it's like words are spelled different, like object is OJBT. And it's like, hello, motherfucker, you do not know. You're a noob. Go back to OpenSea. Do not belong here. You do not even have wallet, you bitch. You can get nothing done. You do not, look at these words. You don't know what they mean. They're not written in your stupid language. Go back to where you belong, no jack. And that's how I felt. So I swear to God, that's how I felt. So the first time I minted on Hickanunk, I was like, yeah, I did it. What? I was so happy. I felt like I accomplished something. So what I say is don't, and I sold something for 30 Tez. And I sold a few more things. Like that led me down the Tezos rabbit hole where I sold a bunch of shit, made some money. Well, to whoever is hearing the sound of my voice and get to see my glorious face, push through whatever the thing is. You're going to meet resistance. Good. You're trying to sell things on the internet. You're trying to take songs that no one asks you for and turn them into a thing that no one cares about and make money that you can pay your phone bill with. So there should be a little resistance, a little bit, just a little smudge. Push through it. It's fucking worth it. As far as, is it a bubble? Yeah, of course it's a bubble. So is America. America's a bubble. Most people are not making money in NFTs. And the reason for that is that most people don't know what they're doing. They're jumping into a market and a space that they're ill-equipped to operate in. They don't know the rules, and they're thinking that they can make some money. Now, with no knowledge of how the space works, they think, using their noodle, all you gotta do is create an NFT. That's why when I started, I think the number was 60,000 NFTs a day were being created on OpenSea. And now that number is into the couple hundred thousands every day, and even more with some of these PFPs. A lot of it is bullshit. And they don't understand what makes it work. Here's the funny thing. No one understands it. That's the fun part. Well, obviously it has to have utility. Word? What utility does CryptoPunks have? What utility does Bored Ape have? What utility did plush penguins or silly squids or whatever the other ones that made money, the Kennel Club and all that stuff. What utility did they have? None. But now utility, obviously, road maps and white papers. No one gave a shit about none of this a year ago. Just people fucking around having fun. Some of it takes off because it has community behind it. The power is in the people. Always the people. However, what makes people gravitate towards your thing? Oh, you're going to need people that they respect. And fortunately, it's very, and I say that, exactly, I said what I said. Fortunately, it's difficult to get a lot of people that people respect on one page in this space these days. Because, they're not, people have made money and now their britches are a little bigger. 5 years from now, there's absolutely no telling. There's no way to predict. I mean, between Microsoft and Facebook, what if Microsoft merges with Facebook? Now what? The metaverse. What happens then? What happens if the SEC starts an SRO just for crypto? Think of it, the U.S. government starts a SRO just for crypto. What if there's an SRO for crypto and another one just for NFTs? Who knows? Social credit will buy you more than a regular credit card if you know how to use it. And some places it's clout, but clout is just how you wield influence. Your actual social credit, how you're seen, matters. And that comes not just with being popular, it's also how you treat people, how people perceive you, how you make them feel. I've always thought of this as really a selfish thing. I do it for me. I help people because of the way it makes me feel. It has very little to do with them. It's still true. I don't help people because I want to, or because I have to, or because it's the right thing to do. I've spent most of my life not doing the right thing. I help people because helping people feels good. And like anything else that feels good, I do a lot of it.